Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, one government agency defending its budget didn't get a lot of scrutiny from lawmakers on Tuesday, and that's because of a job well done, according to senators. The Office of the Inspector General has had the same IG for 27 years, and the list of audits and reports the office released could be the reason for that. News 2's April Knight has more.
VI Inspector General Stephen Van Beverhout didn't seem under pressure on Tuesday. He was defending his office's fiscal year 2017 budget before the Senate Finance Committee, and he didn't get a lot of resistance from lawmakers.
Your agency represents the best return on investment of the government of the Virgin Islands.
The Inspector General's office needs $2.1 million this year. That's about $118,000 higher than last year's, but according to the IG, that's because of some pay increases and retroactive pay due to their employees. The Inspector General's office has released high-profile reports and audits of government agencies, including the 2011-2012 real property auction rigging scheme. Also, the recent report on the alleged overpayment of the law firm involved in the South Shore contamination lawsuit received praise from lawmakers.
I started to read it. I was like, wow. I mean, the issues that you raised that start out with the actual letting of the contract, the procurement of the services and deficiencies and that, you talked to.
The Inspector General stressed that his office merely investigates. The Attorney General decides what to do with the information, but the IG does offer opinions. In the latest report, for instance, regarding the GRS Alternative Investment Program, he said there wasn't necessarily any criminal activity.
The dispute between us and GRS as to what constitutes a loan and what constitutes an investment, so I don't think there was any criminal activity done in this.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, the Inspector General did say they need more personnel, at the very least a legal counsel, which they currently don't have. On Wednesday, lawmakers got together in a legislative session to consider a number of bills, rezonings, and a nomination. The debate on the bills continued past news time, and we will update you on the results of the votes taken. In the meantime, lawmakers were very clear on which bills they support or oppose. Among them was Bill number 31-0267, which is a bill that would unify the district boards of election to one unified board.
It is time that we have a difference of opinion on both islands. And while this might not necessarily stop the rancor, it is going to provide us with at least one decision, like or not like. But to have one board doing one thing and the next board doing something totally different, and it was taking place this year, this is going to provide one decision in reference to elections for the Virgin Islands.
Turn our attention to the Department of Health. The U.S. Virgin Islands Department reports 3 new cases of Zika in the territory. According to the weekly surveillance report, there are 29 confirmed positive cases in the territory, 12 cases on St. Thomas, and 16 on St. Croix, 1 on St. John. Currently, 1 pregnant woman has been confirmed positive. A total of 727 pregnant women in the USVI have had the Zika test. Additionally, 22 cases of dengue have been confirmed. There are 5 new cases on St. Croix and 2 new cases on St. Thomas. The Department of Health is increasing its efforts to educate the public about ways of prevention through community outreach efforts and public service announcements. Be sure to tune in here on News 2 for weekly safety reminders about Zika, starting next week coming up. Also, they were present during the St. John Festival openings. Now, the department will continue to offer free Zika testing at 12 locations throughout the islands. A presentation was held again at St. John Festival Village, and they will be there during some of the festival events. Now, coming up July 2nd, they will be present for the Summer Splash at the Tamarind Reef Resort on St. Croix from 12 to 4 p.m. There will be a presentation and information distributed. And also July 2nd, 7-Day Adventist in Christiansted, Mid-Island, St. Croix. That's from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority has scheduled a service interruption to a small section of St. Thomas Feeder 10B on Sunday, July 3rd from 5 to 8 a.m. Service will be interrupted to approximately 16 customers in the Alcoans area while crews safely transfer primary lines to a newly planted pole. Now, while the work is in progress, motorists in the area are advised to use extreme caution and to observe traffic directions for the safety of the crews and the public. They say every effort will be made to restore electrical service as quickly as possible. Well, here's a feel-good story, taking it to the skies. Young Virgin Islanders are putting their piloting skills to the test this week. On Wednesday, students participating in a summer program by the Virgin Islands Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, they got behind the controls and aimed for the sky. Their mentors, professional pilots and other young aviators who are graduates of the same inspiring program. NEWS2's April Knight has that story.
St. Croix student Kiana Torrance is flying an aircraft for the second time in her life, and NEWS2 was in the tiny plane with her to watch it happen. The 12th grader, who's one of the students participating in the VIOBAP, or Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, handled it like a pro.
I got interested in aviation around my 8th grade year in junior high.
Students like her train here each year at Ace Flight Center, and on Wednesday they put all their theory to the test. Behind the VIOBAP is Granville Smith. He joined OBAP in the States but had a love for aviation as a child. He brought the program back to the Virgin Islands to help young people discover their passion as well.
Some students have that we call it the aviation bug, the flying bug, and they know that being in aviation is what they want. Others may or may not know what they want to do, but they know aviation may be a part of it.
Regina Costa, a rising star in the aviation industry, went through the same program, and now she's giving back as a volunteer.
I gave my information and my experiences so the students can know what goes on in college. It's not all about one thing, so they're exposed to different fields of aviation.
Kiana wants to be an air traffic controller. She said she's going to keep flying and learning all about planes until she gets there.
That's very important, and I think that, if I can just inspire one student to kind of follow me in my career journey, I think I'll be very happy and grateful, and I am.
Reporting for NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
Now, you may remember we featured Granville as a youngster when he began his first flight. And great jobs to all the young pilots. Job well done. And other news, President Obama and Hillary Clinton, they will be campaigning together for the first time in 2016 in Charlotte, North Carolina on Tuesday. The joint appearance was first set for earlier in June in Wisconsin, but was rescheduled in the wake of the Orlando terrorist attack. The event comes weeks after Obama officially endorsed Clinton, saying he doesn't think there's ever been someone so qualified to be president. Clinton aides hope the event will help unify the Democratic Party around Clinton and preview the way the president will stump for Clinton before November's election. They believe Obama will be able to reach out to voters who flocked to him in 2008 and 2012. The international community is reeling just a day after the Ataturk airport in Istanbul was attacked by 3 suicide bombers. The death toll stands at 41 with over 230 injured. The airport has since reopened, but the investigation into the terror attack is just beginning. Diane Gallagher is in Washington with the latest.
The world is responding to the horrific attack at Turkey's Istanbul Ataturk airport.
It's just pure panic, people falling over themselves.
Where 3 attackers opened fire before detonating suicide vests in the International Terminal building and in a parking lot Tuesday night.
I just heard these screams. I turned around the corner and it's just this wall of people running towards me. It's horrendous, really.
No group has officially claimed responsibility for the attack there, but U.S. and Turkish intelligence believe that this has all the hallmarks of an ISIS attack, something the CIA chief warns the world could soon be seeing more of.
Unfortunately, despite all our progress against ISIL on the battlefield, as the pressure mounts on ISIL, we judge that it will intensify its global terror campaign to maintain its dominance of the global terrorism agenda.
President Obama, visiting Canada, expressed sympathy with Turkey and called for vigilance against terrorism.
We stand with the people of Turkey, and we intend to do what's necessary to make sure that these kinds of terrible events are not happening.
Speaking at a meeting of the European Council, German Chancellor Angela Merkel expressed solidarity with a critical NATO ally.
Gegen den Terrorismus. I would like to assure the Turkish people that we feel that we stand by their side in this fight against murderous terrorism, and that we want to express our solidarity with them.
In Washington, Diane Gallagher.
Keeping our eye on the economy, the Senate today, Wednesday, voted to advance a critical debt restructuring package for Puerto Rico. The territory is reeling from $70 billion in debt. The action comes days before the island must make a $2 billion debt payment. The White House and leaders in both parties backed the deal. It was carefully negotiated between Congress and the administration for months. The measure was easily approved. It will be sent to President Barack Obama tomorrow, Thursday, for his signature. Let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers there, everything up. The Dow 284, NASDAQ 87, S&P 500 also up 34. Coming up on News 2, highlights from opening night in Varlickville, plus a little more on the honoree. St. John Festival Fun continues. Well, on Tuesday night, Varlickville opened for business in Cruz Bay. Many headed to Love City for the ribbon cutting and opening ceremony of the St. John Festival Village. The ceremony honored Ms. Delreese Varlack. Here are the highlights. Varlickville is now opened for business. Many headed to Love City on Tuesday for the ribbon cutting and the opening ceremony of the St. John Festival Village.
And this plaque is given from the St. John Festival and Cultural Organization, and it's said to present this plaque to Delreese Varlack of Village Henri for her many, let's say all that right, years of contributions to the Festival Committee and the St. John community in its entirety.
The lady of the night was Ms. Delreese Varlack, who was honored.
I'd like to thank the Carnival Committee for this recognition this evening. I remember in the beginning I was a bystander, and then I became a participant. Was a princess. I remember prompting between here and probably by where the phone booths used to be.
The heart of Carnival is the village. Carnival Village, or the Village, as it is locally referred to, is made up of colorful booths that sell local food and drinks. The booths represent local communities. It also includes foods from Puerto Rico, Trinidad and Tobago, Dominican Republic, Dominica, Tortola, and Barbados, just to name a few.
The Varlack family, we want to thank you so much for all that you do for the Virgin Islands. We really do. Not only do you take care of the good folks here in this community in St. John, but the wider Virgin Islands, and we want to tell you very much thank you. So I want to wish everyone a happy festival. Enjoy your time. Go from booth to booth and sample all of the food and the drinks.
Now, it's also the place where we can find some music, nightly entertainment. And speaking of the Village, let's look at who will be performing tonight. Wednesday, Jam Band and Poison. Thursday, it's Extreme, Vio International, and Small Acts from St. Kitts. Friday, we will hear from Spectrum, Father Fox, and Shy Marshall, Kerwin Dubois, and Rock City. Saturday, we can expect the Express Band from St. Croix, Rudy, St. Thomas, Nadia Baston, Patrice Roberts, and Destro from Trinidad. Sunday, we have Awi Band, Triple K, Benji, and Sherwin Winchester from Trinidad. And finally, on Monday, July 4th, we have CMK, Cool Sessions of St. John, Hyper Sounds, and Crossfire of Barbados. Meanwhile, the St. John Festival Food Fair, that upped the game of good local food, drinks, and entertainment. The opening ceremony happened on Sunday, with the fair named after TGIS year's honoree, Delroy Eitel Anthony, a popular local figure known for his work with arts and herbs. Revelers sampled delicious local cuisine as well as the many different drinks available throughout the village. All of this against a background of festive music. Now here's some of the sounds from the food fair ceremony. Great music there by Soulja. Now coming up, Festival Fun continues on Sunday, July 3rd, 1 p.m. We have horse races there on tap at the Clinton E. Phipps Racetrack. Sunday, July 3rd, again, that is at 1 p.m. Emancipation Day program on tap at Powell Park. Also on Sunday, 12 p.m. is the Festival Poker Run in Cruz Bay. Now Monday, July 4th, big day, 4 a.m. Juve. 11 a.m. the festival parade, and many people stick around for the fireworks display in the harbor. That's at 9. And a quick note to our viewers, there will be a change in programming this week due to the 4th of July recognition. NEWS2 will be preempted on Monday, rather next week, Monday, July 4th, by a programming special. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday, July 5th for our regular scheduled programming. Remember to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, CBSTV2VI.com for all the latest. Well, many are preparing for summer vacations, and the light shines on the VI, especially during festival, based on user votes and expert insights, plus factors like accessibility to beaches, tourist sites, and comfortable accommodations. U.S. News compiled a list of the best places to visit in the Caribbean to help readers choose the next Caribbean getaway. BVI was number 1, St. Lucia number 2, and the USVI number 3. Cayman Islands at 4, Turks and Caicos at 5. Well, it stated that the USVI is the place to see Mokajumbis dance at a carnival parade, hear the Creole dialect, or smell the spices in a saltfish pate. It goes on to list some of the best things to do on St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John. The St. Croix Youth Sailing Association, Inc., they kicked off a fundraising campaign to expand the St. Croix training fleet to a world-class competitive level. The campaign seeks to raise about $100,000 to fund the purchase of new Optimist and 420 racing boats and to add a first-ever Caribbean-based 29er fleet. St. Croix sent 22 youth sailors to the BVI dinghy championships last month and St. Croix sailors to the Optimist World Championships. You can donate online via PayPal or GoFundMe, or you may donate by check to P.O. Box 24171, Christiansted, Virgin Islands 00824. The St. Croix Youth Sailing Association offers year-round sailing instruction to St. Croix's youth. The St. Thomas St. John District Summer Enrichment Program for students in grades 1st to 6th begins on Tuesday, July 5th. Parents who have registered children should pay the mandatory insurance fee of $6 before those classes begin. School district accepts payments from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Curriculum Center and Estate 22 until Friday, July 1st, and on the starting day of classes at the students' respective summer school site. For more information, you can contact Kifani Hendricks Carey, who's the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, at 340-775-2250, extension 8532. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.